And we are live. Welcome on your TV sets in Texas and Louisiana. And welcome on X, LinkedIn, YouTube, and all the rest. It's always a pleasure to be here, guys. We're having a great time on the Impact Money Show. It's the Impact Money Show. Last night was so funny. What in the world was that? I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this, man. These guys, they really keep you wondering because I have since the beginning, I have said that Joe is acting, and that this is an act. I thought they were going to take him out before. I thought they were going to take him out before the election, even maybe they wanted to, but they put him in there. And yeah, I mean that's what I think. But so here you go. I still think it's an act. I don't think that I think it's an act. It's it. I think that they that's the out. How can you charge the senile old man already? They said they couldn't really do anything because he was a crazy old man or whatever, senile old man. So anyway, but it was hard to tell if they were gonna like put a mask on and send somebody else in there, right? I mean, who knows? I thought that was they might do that. But again, I think the better play for them was to send in or have a bad performance and then switch them out. So there you go. I mean, that was like it was hard to watch. I'm doing another play with the kids with my daughters, so we had rehearsal, or they had rehearsal, and I was there. I wasn't called for that part, so I was kind of there, but I'd like to be involved. And but I wasn't really watching it at first, and then I was watching it a little bit. Got home, it was still on. My wife's like, "Oh man," like. That was bad. It's bad. Like, it started out really bad. She told me it started for Biden. It started out really bad. So he's kind of gotten his footing a little bit, but he couldn't even get anything out. This is the man, or whatever, that has been running the free world, right? Running around, meeting with world leaders. I mean, no wonder the world's on fire. I mean, but say what you want. Guys, the whole thing. I was here in January. Obviously, I was here on January 6th. I'm here. I was here for the election. I was here for the whole thing. Actually, as we got to that 2020 election, I figured everything was going to go south because we didn't do anything about the magic electronic voting machines. We didn't do anything about the mail-in ballots. Like, we didn't do anything about the voting apparatus, which we knew was cooked. And so it was fairly obvious to me that something not good was going to happen. It's possible that those magic voting machines, that maybe the Russians did get into the electronic voting machines in 2016 and just make sure that they didn't cheat. And that's why Trump won. And that's why they couldn't believe it. And that's why Hillary couldn't believe it. I mean, Hillary was supposed to be not canonized. She was supposed to be, what do they call it when they make you king or queen? What's the word? Someone can tell me on a chat or something. I don't know. Not canonized. That's where you get sainted. Christian, that's not right either. Anyway, you know what I mean. She was supposed to just ascend into the spot, and that didn't happen, right? We got Joe, and or no, we got Trump. So anyway, it wasn't even 10 minutes. It wasn't even 10 minutes after the coverage, after the debate ended, that CNN, they were already talking about switching them out. How do we switch them out? What do we do? And I think they have to. Here's the thing. So Biden is like, what? He's only 3 years older than Trump. but Trump is so sharp. I mean, the man is so sharp. And I think he wanted to just go on and be an old man and go in his retirement. I mean, look at the guy. He's in great shape. I mean, if nothing happens to him, he'll probably live 100 years or more. But, you know, he's sharp. The man is sharp. I mean, who do you want in there? And I don't agree with everything. I think I disagree with a lot of really with, I agree with a lot of his stuff. Obviously, I support the man. I've always supported the man, but I certainly don't agree with all of it. Is the way I should say. But he is the man for the job. He's absolutely the man for the job. He has my full support. That is our way forward. But man, that was a shellacking. That was a shellacking. Have you ever seen anything like that? And I put out a post last night. This is a historical moment, but this is a really low historical moment. Like, I haven't seen us look that bad ever. Think of like some of like the sound bites you've seen over the years. You saw like this debate and that debate. They never show the Ross Perot clips anymore, but those were interesting. We had the Ross Perot debates. That was when Ross Perot came in, and that's why Bill Clinton got into office. Was George B. Bush went up against Bill Clinton, and they were the two nominees from Republican and Democrat. And then you had Ross Perot came in, and Ross Perot took 20% of the vote. Now, knowing what I know now, who knows if he really got 20% of the vote, or they just, sent over some of the Bush votes over there to Ross Perot to make sure that Slick Willie got in, old Bill Clinton. But, I mean, just crazy. Just craziness. It was hard to watch. I'm sure you guys thought the same. It was really hard to watch. You had to walk away with, Trump put out a commanding performance. I come on TV and on social media, and I do this every day, and I know what it's like to get up there and be live. To be live all the time. And that's nothing compared to what he did last night, live in front of hundreds of millions of people, if not billions of people. He didn't miss a beat. I didn't see him mess a doggone thing up, guys. And we're at a point in the history of the world where we need people like that. We need the best of the best, guys. The world's on fire. The world's on fire, and you have, like, I mentioned yesterday, like, this is the age of the dictator, right? We have the age of the dictator. You have even old Zelensky there. I call him Netanyahu's cousin. He's his cousin, or his brother. His little brother. Netanyahu's little brother over there in the Ukraine. Yeah, no, we don't need elections. And I love to be honest, Ukraine gets a bad name. I love it. Kiev is beautiful. The place is beautiful. The people are beautiful. I mean, everybody gets demonized by, a lot of people hate Americans too because of our people in charge. But I mean, the Ukraine is a beautiful place. Russia is too. Everybody should go. Every time I got a chance to go to places like that, I went. Oh man, I can go. I remember they started opening up, when I was a kid, going to Russia was like, oh no, absolutely. I mean, we have the USSR, the Iron Curtain, all this stuff. The first chance I got, man, I went over there. Hey guys, what's up? It's like the universal American. Hey, what's up? You see an American anywhere in the world. Hey man, what's up? So we have a clear choice. Actually, you don't even have a clear choice. It's really only Trump. That's it. So then the question comes to, who are they going to slide in there, right? Are they going to slide in? Somebody else? Are they going to? I mean, like I said, I think they have to slide in somebody else. So then it comes to: are they going to slide in Newsom, which is the California governor? California is the economy of California. Just, I mean, there's a lot going on there. Of course, that's going downhill because of a lot of the stuff. He's done a horrible job over there, but he does have I think the largest state by land mass as well. And then we have Clinton and Hillary. She has always been the anointed one. So I think that the and then you have, of course, Obama, and everybody loved Obama. I mean, let's face it, everybody loved that guy. I mean, of course, the people on the right, they didn't like the guy, but he was pretty popular. So who are they going to put in? I mean, if they wanted to put in a ticket that would sell, I think you go with Obama, Clinton, and that would just be something else. It would be something else. I mean, but I wouldn't be surprised at anything right now. But I think that would be the ticket. And the thing about the 2 terms is, I mean, I'm pretty sure no one's really talking about it right now. But if you take a term off, then it's not 2 consecutive terms. So I don't think Obama would have any problem running on the top of the ticket. We could also be the VP for Clinton. But it'll be interesting. They have the convention coming up, and I don't know, guys. It is going to be really interesting. I do have Matt Dixon, who just joined. I'll probably I'm gonna bring him on here, but real quick. The thing that we talk about all the time here is MAGA too big to rig. Is it too big to rig? I don't know. I mean, I feel like we got tens of millions of newcomers that have come in, tens of millions at least. Trump last night said 18 million. Tucker told us it was 22 million. Other people are saying well over 22 million. Other people are saying around 10 million. I think it's, if the news people are telling you 10 million, you got to at least triple it. I mean, you got to at least double it. Right? So 20 million plus. I don't know. Then you got the magic electronic voting machines. You have the absentee ballots, which they're calling mail-in ballots now. We'll see. And then it was really funny yesterday because Zelensky, as I was saying, he came out yesterday and he's like, he wants a peace deal. And so I thought that was very interesting. I didn't know if that had to do with the debate or what. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. But the markets looked fairly primed, I think. Let's talk to my good friend here, my colleague, Sir Matt Dixon. How are you?
Good morning. Very well, thank you. Yeah, I was actually I was just listening to the debate last night with Biden and Trump, and just as an outsider, obviously I'm not into all this quite the way you guys are, but I think they need to find a replacement for Biden because he's
right. Like, I mean, how in the world do they not they have to?
Yeah. So as you said, if Obama were to come in, that would be an interesting.
That would be the play. Because that guy, first of all, Trump has really collected, or collected is the wrong word, but he's really attracted the black vote. Because the black Americans aren't stupid, you know what I mean? And the economy's it's really bad. I actually put out a post yesterday. We always talk about inflation, and a guy, he made a video, and in 2022 he bought $126 worth of groceries from Walmart. And Walmart has a little button on there. It was like a reorder type of button. He'd ordered it online, and so he just clicked reorder, and it was $414.
Yeah, wow.
126 to 414, a 328% increase. And so, I mean, even if you're not that smart, your wages didn't go up by 328%. So you are feeling that a lot. So that would, though, of course, everybody is attracted. I mean, even as we are all living together, people are still kind of tribal in their tendencies. He would, a lot of his, probably a lot more of the black vote anyway would vote Democrat. They'd want to support their guy that they loved for all those years. So that would be an interesting play, but I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. How about, I mean, have you ever seen a debate like, no, of course you haven't. I can tell you right now, you've never seen anything like it. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Shocking. No answers to anything. It's a pretty poor debate, to be honest. I can't see how it didn't inform anybody. So anyway.
Yeah. It was bad. I mean, I'm sure even the conversations there over in Dubai, you guys must have been like shaking your head as you came into work today.
Yeah, well, as I say, I was just looking at it now, and I was
okay.
a little bit surprised, disappointed, underwhelmed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Not
a
good sign.
Yeah. Anyhow, so the markets looked pretty primed for these PCE numbers, I think.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. You talk about the economy. Yes, there's no doubt the economy is not in the best position of all. It seems to be on a decline now. I don't know whether this is a party thing, a party political thing, or whether it's a bigger picture thing with all the money printing that's been done over the years. As I've always said, that doesn't really produce proper economic growth. It just covers up the cracks and makes rich people richer. So, whether it's that level, I don't know. I mean, the figures that came out yesterday, before we jump into PCE today, we had, where are we now? Where are we? We had some figures out yesterday. Oh, I know where they are. Yeah. So I'm not showing the screen just at the moment, but I'm just having a quick recap of the figures. So we had durable goods yesterday, which came out pretty well flat. They came out plus 0.1%. So at least it wasn't negative. The anticipation or the forecast was for a negative figure, and it came out virtually flat at 0.1%. So durable goods was okay. GDP, the forecast was, I mean, the previous GDP for Q4 of 2023 was 3.4%. This is still looking back at Q1, but it's the final figure, and it came in at 1.4%. So if you look at what's happened since, for example, Q3 2023, we had GDP of 4.9%. Then Q4, the last one was 3.4%. And then this Q1 of 2024 came in at 1.4%. So you can see really that the economy is beginning to slow quite seriously. And that's what people are feeling on the ground, I guess. That on top of inflation. And that brings us on to today's numbers, I guess, where we're looking at inflation, PCE numbers. So that's the Fed's preferred measure of inflation. They still have a target of 2% for inflation. And the Fed's preferred measure is this PCE, which is personal consumption expenditure. And it's been coming down and down and down for the past year, and is expected to decline yet again from 2.8 was the previous, and the forecast is 2.6%. And I'm hoping that we even get lower than 2.6%. I hope we get nearer to that 2%, because that will bring the Fed a little bit nearer to an interest rate reduction. And as long as they're moving in the right direction, getting close to 2%, they won't want to overshoot 2%. So they will start to reduce interest rates before they actually get there. So I'm hoping for better figures today. And I think that the market, I'll actually begin to share screen now. I think that the market is anticipating better figures.
Yes, it feels like it.
Yeah. So let's just see, share screen. There we go. And
got you here.
Yeah, so hopefully there you can see the PCE expected there at 2.6%. But I'll just move over. I'll put the oil one on first. I'll jump around a little bit. But oil prices, you can see they've spiked up a little bit. Not quite sure what that's to do with. By the way, the unemployment figures yesterday were slightly worse than expected. So there's actually a lot of data came out yesterday. It was a real mixed bag, but it came in roughly in line with expectations. Unemployment ticked up a bit higher, so the employment situation is gradually beginning to turn for the worse, unfortunately. So that is very, very important to the economy, because obviously it's people's spending power. If there's people without jobs, they don't have spending power. That's obviously a drag on the economy. So that wasn't good to see. But we'll wait for the main jobs numbers. I think they're next week, I think. So we'll wait for those numbers and see where they really are. But here, as I said, looking at oil, we can see that price recently, with all these green candles, has been picking up higher. We've had this hidden bearish divergence, which is telling us that price should continue to the downside fairly soon, but we can't actually take that as a valid indicator really until we see the first red candle following this divergence signal. So I wouldn't be selling immediately here. I would wait for a red candle just to give some confirmation that the market has potentially turned, because potentially we can continue to get green candles once the price goes above this previous level of $83.76. Then that divergence would be eliminated, and the way higher will be open for even higher. So we've got the first signs of a signal, a bearish signal, but we still need some confirmation of it. The crypto market has been really, really good. We had some amazing eBay upgrades. I mentioned a few yesterday. I'll probably put on a couple more today. We have been, for some time, we've been long Litecoin. I was telling you I was expecting to pump because we had ABC down and we started to move up. It's looking impulsive. If we get some good PCE numbers today, this is going to be great, I believe. So plenty of upside potential there, and they're really powerful green candles with no overlap at all. So I'm hopeful that we will push higher. So Litecoin is looking good. So following this, first of all, we had this hidden bearish divergence. That downward signal there indicated price was going to drop. And we got the red candle I just told you about, that you need to confirm it. And then you jumped in here for a short sell and price plummeted down. We now have the very opposite situation. And basically we're expecting a price to rise from here. And we'll look at divergences with some of the other assets just to give that some confirmation. But I do think that this chart looks very corrective to the downside, and I'm very, very hopeful. We'll just look at the big one, Bitcoin, because this, again, we've been over this a few times of late, but it stayed within this parallel channel. We actually got, again, here we got hidden bullish divergence on Bitcoin, basically with higher lows on price and lower lows on RSI. And we also got oversold on RSI as well. So you can see from the old oversold situation down here that RSI moves up along with price. So we actually just hit the boundary, the support level on this ascending parallel channel. This whole blue section here is an ascending parallel channel that's contained prices now for quite some time, right back into last year. So it looks to be a good channel that's been respected, and we bounced off there with a long wick below just to touch the bottom of the channel. It was rejected immediately. Buyers came into the market and they've been pushing up. So we're getting a little bit of a pullback now, and we'll probably look at that in greater detail on Solana, just to open it out a bit more. So we're looking here on the daily, and you can't see a lot of detail on the daily, but I just wanted to show you the bigger picture that we are expecting. The likelihood is, there's no guarantees, of course, but the likelihood is that we've hit the bottom for now on Bitcoin. Looks as though we're going to push up. It won't go in a straight line, of course, or I doubt it would, but it looks as though we're going to push up to at least meet the top of the channel at some point.
Which is a nice move. What's that move up there?
Well, that would be around the 90,000 mark. So the previous all-time high was was here at 70, just under 74,000. That was the previous top of the channel there. We've come down at the bottom of the channel is very corrective overlapping. So again, we can just, it's good to reiterate here to see the difference. So we can see here wave one up, You
froze. Matt's frozen.
Movement up. So it's not overlapping.
You froze there for a minute. Like 5 seconds.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just trying to show that this impulsive movement, there are no overlaps involved. So when you move up and move back and move up and move back, the move back doesn't overlap the previous move up. And that's the case with impulsive movement. But when you get corrective movement, it's very much overlapping. So corrective is against the trend. Impulsive here upwards is with the trend. That's telling me this ascending channel and the fact that we have no overlap on the way up is telling me the trend is still higher on Bitcoin. And then when we look at a counter trend move or a corrective move, we can see all of the overlap, all the way the prices are overlapping, the lows are overlapping the previous highs all the way through. So this is very typical corrective movement against the trend. So we do expect when we hit the bottom of this channel to resume this upward trend with the trend towards the top of the channel. And as Bruce said, looks very, very exciting potential there. 89,000, somewhere around there, 89, 90,000, would smash through that previous all-time high. So I'm hoping we get weak PCE. I'm hoping we start to get a flavor of lower interest rates to come in the not too distant future. We even had, and I'll go over to XRP here. XRP, again, it was featured in the ratings. It was upgraded yesterday. It was, it's actually up now. Since yesterday's upgrade, I think it's up about 2% now, somewhere around that. So might not sound a lot, 2%, but it's a really solid big asset with big, massive market cap. And to get 2% in a day is pretty amazing, because that would equate to 600-700% in a year. Not saying we'll reach that 700%, but I'm just saying if you captured 2% on your savings in a day, you've got to be happy. And that was one that was featured, as we featured yesterday on the show, with the eBay rating upgrade. So I think there's a lot more potential to come here. And you can see here I've potentially got an X wave marked quite a bit potential higher there, up to maybe 60 cents would be my next target, hopefully, for XRP. So that's a further 12 cents from here. That's a further 25% potentially from here. And I remember saying yesterday, we're looking at maybe 30% upside on it. Well, still potentially 25% upside still to go. So I'm just hoping we get those weaker PCE figures, which will help us. Solana had an amazing move, and I'll go on to a shorter time frame with Solana. But here's just, while we're on the longer time frame, I will just again look at that wave count in a little bit more detail, so you can see longer term where we're at. So from the long term, we can see here in the blue, we've got a wave 1 up, 2 down. Then the wave 3 up itself has 5 waves within it in red. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives the top of wave 3. And then we've been working on some kind of correction. It looks like a 5-wave move down, a 3-wave move up, and a 5-wave move down. So it's possible that this corrective wave 4 now is possibly complete. If it's not complete, it may still have a bit lower to go, possibly. You never know. We could get a surprise out of today's PCE. Maybe it'll come out higher. But we're somewhere near the turning point of wave 4, which would then open the way for a wave 5 higher to take us above that previous level of around $209, $210 on Solana. So I think that wave 5 is either virtually upon us or just around the corner. So we'll look at this on a shorter time frame to open out a little bit where we're up to. Let me just expand that chart for you so you can see. So this was basically the ABC correction, A down, B up, and C down. I'm saying that the C down may be complete. And the reason I would say it may be complete, we appear to have had 5 waves down here, a perfect 5 waves down in red. 1, 2, 3. And again, that wave 3 was itself made up of 5 smaller waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to give us wave 3 in red. Then wave 4, then wave 5. Now, following that wave 5, I'm going to go into a shorter time frame again to really open out that following that wave 5, that's here, we had buy signals and we came out on Impact Money. I went out on Twitter, X, and said that it looks as though we're pretty much complete on this push down. And we had all sorts of signals, TA signals, telling us that this was likely to be the local bottom on Solana for the time being. We got a good spike down, and that in itself is actually a good sign of a low in the market. So say, for example, when you look back here at the bottom of this wave, you can see a spike down. What that is price testing lower during this candle, and it actually fails lower and then shoots back up quickly and closes much higher. So it's just a test lower which failed, and they were trying to probe the market for lower and lower, but it didn't manage to hold. And buyers jumped in quickly and pushed the price back up. And that's why you get this wick below. And that's very, very indicative of a low in the market here. We can see again a low in the market here with a smaller wick. It's also, it tests higher when you see a wick higher. It's indicative of a local top in the market. So we can see that again here, the wick higher, and it failed and price came down. Even little wicks like here, a little wick higher, failed and came down. Then at the bottom of the market here, we can see this green wick down again. Price failed, buyers jumped in, and the price moves up again. And it's moved up really impulsively by the look of it. I think it's in 5 waves. So we can see a good impulsive move here, all green candles. There's no overlapping in that little wave 1. And if we went an even shorter time frame, you'd see that even better. But you can see from here, it's all green candles. There's no red there in that wave 1. Then we got a corrective wave 2 down, the red wave 2 down. Then we pushed up in wave 3, then sideways, wave 4. And remember the rule of alternation with Elliott wave, that wave 2 and wave 4 are of different forms. So wave 2 here is very short and quick. Wave 4 we can see is a lot more drawn out and sideways. So there's a difference in form, there's a difference in magnitude, there's a difference in duration. There are many differences between wave 2 and wave 4. So we've had a typical wave 4, and wave 4 is normally the shallower wave. Wave 2 is deeper and quicker. So again, just following the rules perfectly. And then we've got the wave 5 to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice wave 5 to the upside there. That's completed a larger wave 1. So remember, 5 waves make up a larger fractal impulsive wave. So in this case, I would say this is a larger wave 1. I haven't drawn it in. In fact, I'll just probably put it in just so you can see that this makes up a larger wave 1. And we'll make that a little bit bigger. So that's a larger wave 1. We're now working potentially on a wave 2. It could go a little bit deeper than here. I think it probably might well go a little bit deeper. But I think having started the wave 1, that is now an impulse higher. That is now telling us the current trend is higher and the move down is corrective. So from the top, we've had an A, we've had a B, and we're working on a C down. So I expect it may possibly go a bit lower, but it's a corrective move by the look of it. So impulse higher, correction down. Next big move should be another impulse higher of at least 5 more waves. So if we get this little pullback here, we should get 5 more waves at least to the upside. And that's just assuming just an ABC correction higher. That's the minimum expectation. If you get 5 waves up and 3 waves back, you have to really get 5 waves as the next move to the upside. So as a minimum expectation, we expect a solid further pump to the upside. Even if we correct a bit lower, there's plenty more upside in the bag here. And if it actually is wave 1 and we get wave 2, wave 3, don't forget, is normally the extended wave, the extended impulsive wave to the upside. Could be at least 1.618 times this wave 1. And if we just measured that, the magnitude of this wave 1 is somewhere around about there to there. So that's a wave 1. Transpose it to wave 2. Let's just say wave 2 comes down to here, for example. It's a rough guess. It's not perfect at the moment, but wave 3 at 1.618, which is the bare minimum you'd expect for a wave 3, an extended wave 3. To be counted as an extension, it's got to be minimum 1.618. It could be, of course, more than that, 2.618, 4.236. These are all important Fibonacci numbers. So if we got the minimum extension, that would take us in wave 3 to then $187. Then you get a small wave 4 pullback and then another push to the upside. As I said, that should take us to challenge the previous local high. But it could even be that we go straight to the next extension. So if we go past the 1.618, the next logical stopping place will be 2.618. And that is at $215 on Solana. And that still would probably be just the wave 3 with the wave 4 back and then a wave 5 higher to go. So really promising there for Solana. We did mention yesterday, it's beautiful, yeah. And we mentioned yesterday Book of Memes. It had such an amazing pump yesterday. If you look at the daily on it, and just open it out so you can actually see it. Just look at that green candle that we had yesterday. Absolutely phenomenal green candle there. I think it was 16% in the day that we saw. So when we looked at it on the show earlier in the day, same time as today, so it's early morning for you, we were already up, I think, 3% on Book of Memes. But it ended the day 16% higher. Now, clearly, we're getting a little bit of profit taking now. That's to be expected after a 16% move in one day. But I think the outlook is still really good. And we did say yesterday that when the market is pumping higher, book of memes. I mean, within the main tokens, Solana tends to pump more than the rest when the market's going up. But within all of the tokens, book of memes is one that pumps even more. It has more volatility. And so that's why we had a great pump up yesterday, but we have had quite a serious pullback, about probably 6%, 6.25% pullback we've had so far today. But if we get those good PCE numbers, we could get another major pump to the upside. Another one we mentioned yesterday, which again, from our signal here, this is BNB, and we featured that with the EV ratings. It actually got a really timely upgrade on the EV ratings. So again, here we have hidden bullish divergence. So on that line, it was telling us the price was likely to move higher, and we were signaling this today. And also it was on the EV ratings as an upgrade. So you can see we've moved up quite nicely from that. We're just getting a little bit of a pullback again, but I'm expecting, again, with good PCE numbers, we should push substantially higher there for BNB. So there's a couple of others that people tend to watch. Again, we seem to be bottoming out. We seem to be in a bottoming phase now for ICP. So again, could potentially push just a little bit lower. In fact, there is a lower target in place where potentially we could reach a little bit lower, which would be 100% extension down here. So there's potential for a bit lower. And to be fair, this does look a little bit corrected to the upside. So the whole market, we may actually get a surprise. Although I'm desperately hoping we'll get weaker PCE figures today, we could potentially get a little bit of a surprise. So I'm not certain on these markets, but I am saying that we're close to a turning point, or I believe firmly we're close to a turning point. And I will be DCAing even from today because we could get good figures out. But I wouldn't be overexposing myself to this market because there is potential we could get slightly higher PCE than expected. So we don't know those numbers in advance, but they're going to be important. And I wouldn't want to miss out and be out of position completely on this market. So DCA in with a small amount that I can hold. If the price moves against me a bit, no problem, I can hold it. But if it moves in my favor, I can actually look to add to it. So then you get the dollar cost average on the way up. But if we get a pullback, we can buy more on the way down. So either way, you're going to average your price. So it's definitely a good strategy.
DCA, that's like the winning strategy, really. It's one of the, that's why it has its initials, right? DCA, dollar cost average.
Yeah. So
important
that's
trading
looking
strategy.
good. Yeah, again, major move here on the S&P. That was on, I mean, I think yesterday the data was pretty much as expected, but I think it was actually a relief that it wasn't bad data. It was just pretty much as expected. And so we're seeing S&P now approaching new all-time high once again. So it's looking as though we're definitely going to be, or we're likely to be pushing higher even with S&P. So the risk assets are looking really promising. We'll just have a little look in at dollar index, which is pretty flat, a little bit of a pullback. There is potential for it to push higher. Again, this looks to be corrected because I put all these circles on the other day just to show those overlaps. So the move up here was overlapped by the move down here. The move up here was overlapped. The move up here overlapped the previous move up here. There's basically constant overlap. So what I'm saying is this move up looks corrective. So at some point, whether it's now or maybe a little bit higher, I don't know. But at some point, because this is corrective higher, I do expect some further downside. So that's why I'm expecting maybe today we see weaker PCE figures. If we see weaker PCE, that would mean weaker dollar. It basically means money is probably coming out of treasuries into risk assets. So the dollar would, dollar would fall as a result, and it's going into risk assets, which potentially will give you higher returns than you're going to get on treasuries, on US treasuries. So that's the reason for the movement, the market movement there. That's pretty much it. I mean, as I say, Book of Memes is one of the big losers today, but it was a big gainer yesterday, and that's why it's one that you need to possibly, really snipe in and out of that, so you can do some what they call scalp trading. When you see an opportunity and the market's rising, you can jump in quickly. But it's good to scalp because if you just hold the asset long term, yes, you might get a long term appreciation, but actually you can get a lot more out of the market, particularly a volatile asset like book of memes, you can get a lot out of it by scalping, by basically taking those profits, waiting for a pullback, jumping back in, waiting for a pullback, or vice versa. If you want to play the market the opposite way around, but basically it's one of those assets which is full of opportunity. So that is pretty well it for today. So we're going to look forward to the PCE news later today. That is now only about an hour and a half away, and that is likely to be a big market mover. So we need to keep our eyes on that, whatever we're trading, whether we're trading stocks, crypto, whatever it might be. It's a very, very important figure out today.
That is for sure. Well, always pretty interesting. It's also a Friday. That always kind of you never know, you know.
Yeah. I mean, people, you know, you're right. With stocks and so on, they don't want to position particularly ahead of the weekend, but this keeps them on their toes because it's such important data. So, there'll be a lot of positions probably closed. So if the market does pump, I expect probably later on you may see a bit of profit taking because people don't want to hold ahead of a weekend where markets may be closed. You could potentially get some geopolitical news over the weekend, which could hit the market. Then you get what's called a market gap, where there's no trading takes place. The prices may open much, much lower potentially, and you could end up in a very painful situation financially. So that's why people don't like to hold stocks. And that's one of the reasons I love crypto, by the way, is because it's a 24/7 market. So
it never stops.
You can always get out or get into the market at any time. So if you hear some news coming out, you can trade accordingly. So as I say, that's a good reason to trade for crypto. But again, you've got to worry about slippage. If you're looking at some of the smaller, low liquidity tokens, even if the markets are open, you still get massive slippage. And that means the price, you can't actually sell until it hits a lower price. And you end up with what's called slippage, and it can be very expensive. So that's why, particularly over the weekends, for the active trading tokens, I look for the bigger liquidity tokens like the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, Solana. For the smaller tokens, I treat them usually a little bit more as either scalping, and I'll get out before the weekend, or if I really like the token, I can just buy them a small amount, lock them away, maybe in a cold wallet, and forget them till the future when hopefully they've really pumped. So a couple of little trading strategies to walk away with. And again, hope that helps. Have a lovely weekend, Bruce, and everybody at Impact Money. So thanks for having me. Look forward to catch up on Monday.
Amazing, my friend. Well, make sure to tell the gang hi for me. Enjoy your weekend. Another great report, my friend.
Lovely. Thank you. All the best.
Cheers. Well, it has been really interesting. I'll tell you, the world is it's crazy right now. One of the things I started to notice as I got older was the world is speeding up. It feels like the world is speeding up, and I stand by that. I think the world is speeding up. I don't know if that has to do with the evolution of things or how much smarter we're getting. You just look at the advancements that's happened in the last 50 years. It's absolutely crazy. And as well, it seems like it seems like things are speeding up. So we've had this central bank in control of the United States for 111 years now. And this reign needs to be over. We need to finish this reign. It's one of the big problems that we have right now. It's one of the problems why we get, it doesn't matter what speaker we get in the House, we can't ever change anything, right? Nothing ever changes. And even if we get Trump in this time, which I mean, who knows? I mean, they're going to probably try whatever they can. But the thought that he's not going to get in is just like, oh my gosh. I mean, come on, guys. Like, he's a crowd favorite for sure. He has the votes. I don't know how much. Is it too big to rig, guys? I don't know. Is it too big? I don't know. I don't know if it's too big to rig. To me, it doesn't look too big to rig because they can kind of rig anything, especially if they replace crooked Joe Biden with Obama, Clinton. I think if Clinton runs by herself, it's a dead deal. Hillary's dead. But if they pair her up with Obama, then that could work. Kamala is dead. Kamala Lala. I can never even understand how she was vice president. What a dark time in our history. What an embarrassing time in the history of the United States. Unbelievable, really. Craziness. One of the most important things that you can do during these times, of course, you want to support the people and get the people in office that you want to get in office. But one of the most important things that you can do is make sure that you have the money, to make sure that you have the value to continue to have a family, to continue to support your family, and to make sure that your future generations are able to prosper and to grow. Because let's face it, I mean, wouldn't it be great to have, 30 grandkids or something like that, right? It'd be absolutely wonderful. I think wonderful. So that's what you want, right? You want to build this big legacy for yourself. But even if it's only 2 or 4 or whatever you want, right? You want to be able to earn during this time. In the Great Depression, there were more millionaires made than any other time in history. Well, that's what we used to say anyway. Lots of millionaires have been made lately. So you'd have to look on percentages. But the opportunities are massive here. They're massive. And as they're inflating our currency more and more, as they're printing more and more, there's more and more opportunity for you to get involved. And it's not financial advice and all that stuff I'm supposed to say. I'm not a financial advisor, okay? Paid post, entertainment purposes, and all that stuff, okay? But we have some big opportunities, and one of them is gold and silver. I mean, obviously, we talk about crypto all the time, okay? But gold and silver are big. They're big, guys. Now we have at costmetals.com. We use the referral link clubs with an S, clubs, CLUBS, at costmetals.com. You can buy gold, silver, palladium, platinum at cost. Buy a little bit every month. Buy some every week. Do whatever you want. It's a club, so you join. I think the lowest deal is $150. If you do $399, that includes some metal. Okay, and you can buy continuously. Now, crypto, of course, crypto is probably going to go up a lot more than metal, but you probably want to have both. You actually not. I mean, it was me. Okay. Going to want both. You do want some cash too. You just don't want that cash. The U.S. dollar is a tax instrument. Now, everybody used to call it a debt instrument, but it's a tax instrument. That's what it is really there for. It's a tax instrument. As long as you're holding U.S. dollars, they can tax you as much as they want by diluting the money supply. And actually, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I put up a video yesterday, which was pretty interesting because the guy did let's see, 216. Let me see here if I can pull it up. Maybe it was 416. He did the comparison, and he ordered groceries, and it was 200. I thought it was 216. Well, let's see here. Groceries. I'm just looking, querying my. There we go. There it is. Let me share this because this is like crazy. And this guy did a video of it. And this is how bad inflation is. And inflation is a tax. And that's what everybody needs to get into their head. Inflation is tax. So if your bill, if you 2 years ago, you bought $100 worth of groceries, that is now $300. Well, that's $200 in tax. And that tax is levied by the central bank. And this is where people get a little mixed up about the whole deal, okay? Because the central bank, the way the central bank became into power is that the central bank, and I'm going to add this and then take it back out for a minute. The central bank told Woodrow Wilson and the gang, look, guys, we'll handle the money. We'll print the money. We'll handle the money supply. We'll be the central bank. We'll give you whatever money you need. Whatever bills you pass, whatever you want to fund, whatever debts the United States have, we will always make sure that you have the money. And Woodrow Wilson, they gave him a bridge over here in the D.C. area. He sold us out. Woodrow Wilson sold us out. And later on in his life, he said, I can't believe I did this. This is the worst thing I ever did. I gave control of the United States over to a small group of people. 10 families. It's a cartel. And they're all part of a group that I won't specify at the moment, but you can put it together. You know who they are. Same people that own the banks, the media, that control everything. Especially once the bank was the important part, because once they got into the banks, they could control everybody because they could mint whatever they want and pay whoever they wanted. So in 2 years, look at this video. This is how much you are being taxed. And the tax comes out the way that the Federal Reserve, the central bank, taxes you, and it pays for everything that they want and that the government wants. Because here's the deal. Once they're able to print the money, people say, oh, no, it's the government that does it. Yeah, but the central bank's controlling the government. The central bank's controlling everybody. If the central bank can slide you $50 million under the table, and you're Joe Schmo, AOC, or whoever you are, who's now worth over $30 million that they know about, which was a bartender a couple of years ago, okay, then it's very easy to buy people out. And then if you can't buy them out, then you just ruin them. You either assassinate them, or you look at JFK, yeah, or you make it where they're kicked out of office. Look at this guy from New York, whatever his name was there. I mean, he was a mess, agreed, but like, we have the Republicans have no majority. They like shot themselves in the foot. Anyway, so that it's important to understand that the inflation is a tax. You're being taxed into extinction. You're being taxed into extinction because you don't even think that you can have more kids, and we have a population catastrophe. We have a population emergency because families don't think that they can have kids. Guys aren't getting married. Women aren't getting married because they don't think they can afford it. They don't think they can afford a house. And I guess they're probably right. They don't think they can afford kids. We are literally and figuratively, but literally being taxed into extinction by the central bank. It has to stop. Here's a prime example of it right here.
I feel like I'm going to be sick. I just looked through my Walmart history, and I found this Walmart order from 2 years ago for the whole month worth of groceries. 45 items cost $126. A whole month of groceries just for me, basically. But I did notice this reorder all button, and I wanted to see how much it would cost now. Now, this order of 45 items for 1 month would have cost $414. That is 4 times more. How the fuck? How? Like, what?
Yeah. Now, admittedly, there's probably some specific items or whatever that popped that up a lot. But that is, and I wanted you as well to get it through your head. Here is, this is Adrian Orr. Adrian Orr, let me add this here. He's one of the central bankers over in, because the central bank is a cartel. They're controlling the world. They're controlling the world. They are controlling the world. There is a conspiracy. John F. Kennedy told us there is a conspiracy to make everybody slaves. And that's exactly what happened. And they assassinated him. He was doing a lot of stuff. He was trying to make, he was trying to stop it. He told us he was going to tell us. They assassinated him. So there's a conspiracy to make everybody slaves. Right now, you can't go to Washington, D.C. and protest because you have a job. You can't leave your job because you got to pay the bills, and you got to pay your tax. You're paying over 50% tax. You put in the inflation, you're paying like 80% tax. I'm wondering when everybody's going to be ready for a good old-fashioned tea party. Peacefully, of course. I don't think there were any shots fired at the tea party. They just, right? Just chuck the tea or whatever. It was pretty peaceful deal. I'm not calling for anything unpeaceful. Even when I say come to Washington, D.C., you guys need to come to Washington, D.C. because this is where everybody is. They're right here. And how are you going to change? Oh, we're going to go occupy the state houses. And what do you think that's going to do? Nothing. It's going to do nothing. Decisions are made here. They're made here in Washington. You got to come here. But how in the world can you have enough money to do anything when you're being taxed 50, 60, 70, 80% of what you make? And it's the Federal Reserve, and it's called the central bank's called different things all over the world. Okay, they have their own thing, but they're all part of the cartel. I'll put those names up in a minute. Here we go. Here we go. Right here, we got. It's a great business to be in. Central banking, where you print money and people believe it. That's Adrian Orr, the governor of the Reserve Bank of New Zealand, during a parliament meeting. Are you understanding the scam of the central bank, the Federal Reserve now? I'm going to repost my own post here. All right, check this out. Listen closely.
The fiscal challenges, etc., that are there. So very focused on being cost effective. We actually fund ourselves and then work out what dividend is needed to pay. So we kind of it's a great business to be in, central banking. You print money and people believe it. And
we actually pay ourselves and print the dividends. It's a great business to be in. You actually print the money and the people believe it. I'm going to play it again.
The fiscal challenges, etc., that are there. So very focused on being cost effective. We actually fund ourselves and then work out what dividend is needed to pay. So we kind of it's a great business to be in, central banking. You print money and people believe it. And
then they all chuckle along. Ha 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 ha. You print money and people believe it. It's the biggest scam of our time. It's the biggest scam of our time. And it's why we are in the problem. It's why we are in the situation that we're in. It's why our kids can't afford to buy houses. It's why the colleges are so expensive. It's why everything is ballooned up. The central bank has been leeching off of us. They've been stealing our wealth since its inception. And in 1933, they actually, even under executive order from Teddy Roosevelt, they confiscated all of your family's gold. Nobody talks about it. I don't hear anybody talk about it. They confiscated all of your family's gold. Under executive order, they confiscated everybody's gold. They gave you some paper money for it. And then they made it illegal for you to own gold. And that gold didn't go to Fort Knox. It went to the Federal Reserve. So it's in the Federal Reserve Bank, the one that nobody can go in New York. We are an occupied country. And I need everybody to wake up and realize who the real enemy is out here. Because if we don't identify the enemy, if we don't identify who we're fighting, then we're never going to win. That was one of the problems we had with the war on terror. We have a war on terror. I was even way back then, a young guy I was. I said, war on terror. How can you have a war on a feeling or on an idea? I mean, how can you? Who is the enemy? And then we went in and attacked Iraq, a country didn't even attack us. But a war on terror. You can't win a war if you don't identify who you're fighting. A war on terror. What? But I'll tell you what, inflation went through the roof. The military-industrial complex made so much money. We killed like 500,000 people over in Iraq. 500,000 kids, 500,000 people, depending on who you talk to. Talk about like serial killers. I mean, what in the world did we go into Iraq for? And then we wonder why these people don't like us. What did the Iraqis, those normal Iraqis, the families and the kids, what did they ever do to us? Craziness. Anyway, so the central, and I've been talking about the monetary revolution around the world. I've been talking about it around the world for a decade now. The monetary revolution. This is how we peacefully, it's a peaceful revolution. There's been no shots fired, but we take the power back from these people, not financial advice and all that jazz. The more US dollars you hold, the more that you can be taxed. You hold that dollar. First of all, every $100 comes with about a 3% interest or tax on it. So we will never, ever, ever, it's impossible to pay down the national debt, which is at $34 trillion or something right now. It's impossible to pay it back because you pay it back in US dollars. And I don't even think there's really, I mean, I'm one of those guys, I don't really think there's much gold left in Fort Knox. I think the reason that Nixon took us off the gold standard, quote unquote gold standard, because, or take us off, quote unquote, the gold standard, is all he really did, because remember, it was illegal for Americans to own gold. As a kid, I always thought, back when we had the gold standard, you could go into the bank and trade in your dollars for gold, right? Right? It makes sense. That's what I thought. But no, you couldn't do that because it was illegal for you to own gold. So all he did was stop foreign countries and probably the central bank itself from trading in dollars for gold at $35 an ounce. So we were getting just pillaged and plundered all that time. Now gold is at about $2,400 per ounce. And everybody needs to understand, they've gotten so used to inflation that they're like, oh, it's just inflation. No, it's tax. It's tax. If you traded in your gold, you had to. It was a $10,000 fine if you didn't trade in your gold in 1933 when they confiscated it all from everybody. But $10,000 then is like $1 million now. So you have to understand how much that was. So it was a $10,000 fine. It was $1 million fine, basically. It was $1 million fine if you didn't turn in your gold. And this is absolutely astronomical stuff. Astronomical. It is unbelievable. They don't teach you this stuff in school. Thanks to Smart Money Culture TV for giving us a TV show to be on every day. And of course, Elon Musk for giving us a voice, because we wouldn't even be able to talk about all this stuff. I can get on here and talk freely about things on X. And of course, that's made other platforms kind of loosen up a little bit too. Although they're trying really hard to do that, to change it. So one of the ways that you need to get involved, because look, the US dollar is going to, they're going to keep doing it. Oh, the families, here they are. The Rothschild tax. And I wrote a song about this. We're going to sing about it. I talked to one of my buddies. He's a famous drummer yesterday. He goes, man, let's go on tour. Let's go on tour, Bruce. Let's talk about it in person. Let's go on tour. The Rothschild's tax. So these are the families, and I'm right here below me. Nobody tells you this. Nobody tells you this stuff right here. Which hand is it? This one. Nobody tells you this stuff. They say, oh no, the central bank, the Federal Reserve, is not owned by anybody. There's a board of governors. Look at these families. Do you think they started a central bank and they don't own it? I mean, come on, use your head, guys. Use your head. Okay. Sure, of course, they have a board of governors and they are liaisons and blah, 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 blah. But the central bank, the Federal Reserve, is held by these 10 families. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Morgans, the Warburgs, Goldman Sachs, Lehman, Kuhn, Loeb, Lazard, Israel, Moses, Schiff, and Stillman. These are the families who own the Federal Reserve. Has anybody ever told you that? Well, let me be the first. On the Impact Money Show. Coming to you every morning, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. They all have something in common. What is that, huh? We have to identify who we're fighting, and it doesn't mean that it has to be. It doesn't mean that it has to be that it's not peaceful. We should be able to peacefully take back our money, printing our monetary policy from a group of foreigners, basically, a group of foreigners who are controlling and occupying the United States. And if you don't think that's a problem, look at where it's gotten us. Look at where we are. The country is in shambles. We're supposed to have a republic, a representative republic, right? A republic. I've been talking a lot this morning. We're supposed to have representatives that answer to us. Nobody answers to you, right? As soon as they get in, it's all over. I'm hoping with guys like David Winkler, but you should remember those names here before I move on. Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Morgans, Wabergs, Goldman Sachs, Lehman, Kuhn, Loeb, Lazard, Israel, Moses, CF, Schiff, and Stillman. Well, that's 11, isn't it? Rothschild, Rockefeller, Morgan, Warburg, Goldman Sachs, Lehman, Kuhn, Loeb, Lazard, Israel, Moses, Safe, Schiff, and Stillman. Yeah, it's 11. All right, so those 11 families, they're the ones. We have to change it, guys. It's the only way forward. It's the only way forward. We have to save ourselves, or else our kids have no future. Think about what the future of what your kids are going to face if we don't save ourselves. We have no options. But one of the most important things that you can do is make sure that you're in a financial situation to do things. It's really important. It's really important. One of the ways that may help is if you get involved in Smart Money Culture TV. Okay, you see what we're doing, and we're growing a lot. We're growing a lot. Okay, and I'm obviously I have a great show here, but we're growing. We're bringing on other shows. We're opening on other markets. We're doing other events. We'll be there at the UN General Assembly. We'll be there at the UN General Assembly in September, lobbying for you, lobbying for ourselves, raising money, putting things together. You can get involved. You can earn revenue. Park your money with us. Park your money with Smart Money Culture TV. Earn revenue. ROI on TV is $7 for every $1 spent. $7. $7 for every $1 spent. That's why they don't let people like you on TV. They make the masses go on social media. Oh, social media is so good. Social media is so good. Guys, it's great. Look, you're on social media. It's great. And I love social media. But TV is king. Everybody's got like 5 TVs in their house. How many TVs do you have? And even if I don't turn it on, my doggone wife's got it on. My kids have it on. Kids usually watch whatever else. But, you know, people watch TV. The masses watch TV. They turn the TV on. They leave it on. It's in the background. So if you're on TV, you get to influence a lot of things. And they get used to seeing you. You're on every day. Okay, well, there's Bruce. He's on TV. What's he going on about today? What are the markets doing? How can I be more impactful with my money? How can we save the country and save the world? Because it really is not only about saving the country, it's about saving the world. It's one of the reasons why Elon Musk is such an inspiration. Because he's saying, guys, this isn't the end all be all. We're not going to stop here. You got guys running around saying, oh no, we need to stop population. We have a population problem. I mean, it's like we have a population problem, but it's freaking, we're not having enough kids. We got a population collapse. They've been telling us our whole lives we are too many people. And he's like, well, let's go to Mars. Let's go be an interplanetary species. Let's go be an interstellar species. That's what it's all about, guys. It's about growing. If you're not growing, if you're stationary, you're actually moving backwards because the world's going forwards. And it's actually speeding up, as I mentioned earlier in the show. The world's speeding up. So if you're stationary, you're actually going backwards. So go to smartmoneyculture.tv or thesmc.tv and get involved. Click the contact us. If you have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $1 million that you want to park somewhere while we grow, help us grow. As much as I rail about the banks, we use them too. We have a lot of creative ways that we do that. Don't come to me with your last $100,000. Okay? I don't want it. But if you're looking for a place to park it and you want to support what we're doing and help to save the country and save the world, because that's what we're doing, then hit that contact button, contact us, and we'll make it happen. We will be at the UN General Assembly. We're really excited about that. We are also going to be at Money 2020. Money 2020, one of my favorite events of all time. Money 2020. It's going to be in Las Vegas, October 15. I'm sorry. It's October 17 through 20, I think. I'm going to have to pull it up here just to make sure here. Money 2020. I feel like it's that song, right? Money 2020. Money 2020. It's the 27th. Sorry, October 27th through the 30th. Today is the last day that they're having a discount, an extra $400 discount. They have an extra $400 discount today. It ends tonight. It ends tonight. So today, you can get $650 off your tickets by using the code GLOBE250, but with no E, just GLOB 250. That gets you $250 off. And then as well, you get today only, it ends today, a $400 discount. So you get $650 off. So it's funny here. There she is. You got a mama up there. She's got a little bun. She's got a little baby on stage. I love to see that. I don't know, in my older age, I just think it's real cute. I think pregnant ladies are cute. I don't know when that changed, but it did. Life is beautiful, guys. Life is beautiful. So Money 2020. So that website is money2020.com. Okay, so it's money2020.com. Grab your pass today. All right, I just clicked grab your pass today. It must have switched. Yep. Okay. You can see here, it's not cheap, but it is worth it. Book now and save $400 until June 28th, which is today. The prices will increase. I imagine at about midnight, they're going to increase. Let me switch back here and see if they have that on the front page. I think there was a timer. 16 hours and a half, 16 hours, 29 minutes, 56 seconds left on the $400 discount. You also, you get the $250 discount for, moving forward with Globe 250, Glob 250, GLOB 250. You should get your tickets today. We will be there on location. It is a massive event, They do have a series. Of course, they have Bangkok, Europe as well. We're a worldwide partner, as a matter of fact. Let's see, introducing 20-fold powered by Impact Money. It's the ecosystem.
Knowledge drives the fintech ecosystem and your growth. But finding the right information can be difficult and time-consuming, right? Welcome to 20fold, Money 2020's AI-powered fintech intelligence platform. The widest, deepest, and most intuitive global fintech dataset, covering more than 80,000 fintechs. 20fold is built to slash deal times, accelerate partnerships, and drive growth. Unlock game-changing fintech knowledge faster and easier than ever before, with access to detailed information from founders and funding to partnerships and investors. Welcome to the fold.
It's a very important event. Sponsor FinTech Conference. If you do want to become a sponsor, I recommend that you talk to me first. If you don't want to talk to me first, that's fine. Let them know that you heard about it on the Impact Money Show from Bruce Porter. We are Global Boost Media. You can see our logo right up here, Global Boost Media. Okay, on Smart Money Culture TV. But if you do want to come, I can more than likely negotiate a better deal than you would get without me. Okay, so just let me know what you want to do, and let's talk about it. Give me a call. I'm easy to reach. My Calendly, if you do want to reach me, is my Calendly is calendly.com/impact money. Save. Show. Nope. There it is. Calendly.com impact money. Actually, if you want to talk to me about a number of things, we can. That's how you set a time with me. Today, I'm going to be meeting one of my old friends in the district. He's here from Asia. One of my old friends, Vin Menon. It's going to be great to see him. I haven't seen him here in years. He came to see me years ago. He sponsored one of our Washington Lead events long time ago now. Years ago. 2018 or something, right? Yeah, that's a long time ago now. Anyway, looking forward to that. That's how you get a hold of me. But remember, Money 2020, you're going to want to be there. It's going to be a very important show, October 27 through 30. Get your tickets today at money2020.com. I'm going to fix that real quick. Yes, I'll have it for money2020.com. Bam. This is a better banner. There it is. Money2020.com. Get your $250 discount with Globe 250. Also get $400 off today. All right. I'm done with that. But come and see us there. We're super excited about it. We will be reporting live from the event. We'll do our Impact Money show from the event and bring you all kinds of good stuff. So get involved in that. We've had another great show. It's always a pleasure, guys. It is really always a pleasure to do the show. We like it a lot. I enjoy it a lot. I know Matt enjoys it a lot. It's great to share a lot of the insights that we have at this point in my career, and I'm sure it's the same for Matt. At this point in our careers, it is great to have a platform in order to share what we've learned and what we do and the things that we do. And it's also a very important time to be involved. It's a very important time to have influence. Okay. And if you're a representative and you want to come on the show, we want to talk to you. If you're running for office, we want to talk to you. Are you American first? We want to talk to you. If you're not American first, hey, I still want to talk to you, actually. So just let us know. But of course, we are firmly support America First candidates and are working really hard for that. So anyway, that is a wrap, my friends. Another great show. It's been a lot of fun. See you in a few hours.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.